Haaken is the last in the series called, the Magnus series is what it was called. It is the end of a story. It is, he's the baddie. And probably in more ways than one. One of the reasons why is because we didn't make enough bottles, so we ended up upsetting quite a few people because we just didn't make enough, unfortunately. But by the time we knew that, it was too late and we couldn't go back and do any more. But the story goes that Earl Magnus ruled Orkney with his cousin Haaken, Earl Haaken, and they ruled the islands peacefully for many, many, many years. And Earl Magnus, being a quite God-loving man, he took to carrying the Bible around, apparently, so legend tells us. And he was quite nice, and everybody in the island absolutely loved him. But Haaken was your classic Viking berserker. He liked killing people, and he liked taking over, and he liked robbing and all that sort of stuff. So he had a kind of different agenda, and he wanted to take control of the islands himself. So he agreed with his cousin Magnus to meet. You bring 10 of your friends, I'll bring 10 of my friends, and we'll all have pizza and beer, and we'll have a wee chat, and we'll just discuss it in a friendly type manner. Well, Earl Magnus turned up with 10 of his friends, and Haaken turned up with 100 of his. There wasn't enough beer and pizza to go round, so tempers were a bit frayed, and eventually Haaken had his cousin killed, murdered, and as Earl Magnus died, so legend tells us, the grass grew over him and flowers grew instantly, and sunlight from God came down and shined on his grave. And Haaken forevermore is captured as the baddie. So he's the last. He is the black glass, the black box, and he's a monster of a whiskey. The whiskey itself is 18-year-old, and it's at full strength. So this is at 54.9% alcohol. So it takes no prisoners. It doesn't pretend to be a gentle, lovely little whiskey. It is, like Haaken himself. It's a bit mad. So the whiskey is, all natural coloured, beautiful, beautiful colour to it. When you turn the glass at 45 degrees and spin it all the way around, you can see the tears and legs are very, very small because the alcohol content is very, very high, and it takes an absolute age to go down the glass. But eventually, when you smell it, you can smell the wonderful Spanish oak sherry cask influence, and we're thankfully today in one of the bodegas here in Spain. You can smell the Oloroso so strongly today. So sweet, so fruity. And then when you taste it, flavour's very, very intense to start, and then it slowly builds and builds and gets stronger and stronger. And eventually there's that kind of mouth-watering crescendo, which is classic 18-year-old, and then it just slowly but surely just begins to fade away into the background. It lasts for an absolute age. Although he's the baddie, I do happen to think he probably is the best whiskey.